Alright, so obviously we all know that Zabu got changed and it is a lot better than what he previously was. And then yeah, so I didn't get to experience original Zabu, but I have been trying to play obviously before this change. It is nice, but he did feel like a wasted card after pretty much turn 2. And so obviously we're going to go for a 4-cost heavy deck. My original thought was to go for Nomura in this deck, and then I was like, nah. After the last couple decks of trying to get Nomura to work, she's broken me. Like, absolutely broken me. I'm giving that one a while before I try and make a Nomura deck. So in terms of this one, it is kind of a mixed match. So I've got Silver Sable and Zabu for our 1-drops. Silver Sable, I think she, similar to old White Widow, if you don't know, White Widow got changed, but Silver Sable, Saraka, she's a really good one-drop plug-and-play kind of card. A little bit of disruption, 1/3, it's pretty decent. I put in Mojo because I have found that he has been going pretty decent. It's easy. You can kind of put him in a lane if they like put down an Angela or something, and then you can kind of fight that lane with Mojo. Psylocke to get one of our 4 drops out on turn 3 in case we start with a couple in our hand before we put down Zabu. My Negasonic, I'm just enjoying her. I just like that they have to waste 2 cards on a location, and you can throw her down on turn 5 if you got priority and completely destroy like a combo that they got going on. I like Rogue. She is a card that may sit in your hand majority of the time, but she does have value if you do steal like an Iron Man or something like that. Shang-Chi, just because you can get him out, we can get 2 cards out. If we get Zabu down, we can get 2 4-cost out on turn 6. So Shang-Chi, people are probably going to be expecting him a bit more now, but I think he works in this deck. Captain Marvel, I think just being able to get her out early, or if she stays in your hand, you can just have her as kind of that security net for people that don't know. At the end of the game, move to a location that wins you the game if possible. So I guess kind of a security. And then obviously we've got Scarlet Spider. Being able to get him out on turn 3 is pretty big, or you could hold him in hand, Gwenpool, and try and get that buff. I don't know if I'm just bitter because I never got Wiccan really working outside of the Quicksilver Domino kind of deck. But I put him in this one just because we can kind of get him out on turn 3 if things really go in our favor. And I had a game, unfortunately, I've done a lot of testing before I've started recording anything. I did have a game where I got Wiccan out, and I think by like turn 6 with locations, Wiccan, I think it had like 10 energy or something like that to spend. That opponent retreated. Obviously with 10 power, that's huge. But yeah, so Wiccan, sometimes you get him working, sometimes you don't, but I think it's cool to put him in a deck that's outside of that Quicksilver Domino archetype. And then we just got Dr. Doom, if all else fails, flood locations. But that's pretty much my deck. I am going to put up my win-loss at the start from my testing of this deck, and then I'll probably do another one at the end of the video, and then that way, if you keep in mind, we can see if there was a big change from when I started the deck to when we finish this video, and that will be a good indicator of kind of how well it's going, instead of just, having 6 games or 75% win rate. It might end up being like a total of 25 games and instead of 54% win rate, which I think just, as I've said in other videos, transparency. I just don't want to be putting out decks that are winning for the first 6 games and then just completely bomb, because I don't think that's fair to people trying to make these decks. Obviously, you could put in more 4-costs, but I think if you fill it up with 4-costs, then you have a less chance of pulling Zabu, less chance of getting the actual value out of him, so don't go overboard with 4-costs. Otherwise, let's get into some games and see what we can do. Not too bad. Start with 4-costs in hand. Okay, so getting unlucky and starting with pretty much all our 4-costs in hand. That's what happens when everything's pretty much randomized. You're not always going to get the perfect hand draw. We get Rogue, so that's not too bad. It's gonna get Mojo down. Could potentially save us a lane. Because unless people have a lot of power, I think a lot of people kind of get scared to play into the Mojo. New York, so if they do start to fill up New York, we could just move Mojo over there. Turn 3, we've got nothing. So yeah, this is going to be a potentially a hard game to win. We're on turn, so we could Psylocke now, which means we could get down Giganto or Dr. Doom. So we might just have to go for big monsters here. That helps us out so much. Psylocke now. We're on turn 5, we get 6. So he's going to see what we can play. Oh, the Zabu play is huge. Oh, if we play him down, we only technically get... We've got 2 cards in deck that would be affected. Otherwise, we've got majority of our cards. I reckon we just... Giganto. That's huge. They may have a Shang-Chi deck that the 3 cards they put out are not really indicating what we could potentially be going against. Hobgoblin's that lane. Okay, so it could be... Could just be a weird... So you know, like Green Goblin and stuff as well? Like we could just move him over there. And then do that. Is that a play? That could be. We'll just test it out. If it makes it in, it makes it in. Okay, yeah, so he wanted to contest. Great portal. Awesome, so last turn. We could really annoy him, just kill his Hulk. And that kind of leaves us... Could do that. Get more power in over here, get as much power as we can here. They've snapped, so they've used their big card. I don't know if they're going to put out a lot of little cards. If they fill that up, Mojo goes up. So he goes up by 6, so that's pretty big there. He might play more here. We have 8, we're getting rid of 12. He has to play 6, and he has to play 11 here. He hasn't, like, discarded anything. There's not Hulla. So I'm not really sure if he's going to try and, like, debris and stuff like that. I'm like... I see Infinauts? Nah, so it's not Infinaut.
Power must be controlled.
We get rid of that. So he has to be 14 there. He's Shang-Chi's. But I think we've... Oh, we just lose that. But I think we're ahead enough in Limbo. Oh, that was a little bit dicey, but we'll take that one. On to the next. Alright, starting with Wiccan in hand. At this moment is not going great. We're going to have to fill this up with our lower cost cards. Like, yeah, starting with Wiccan in hand is either going to be good or bad, depending, like, you need... Like, we kind of want Zabu and Psylocke in hand with Wiccan. That's, like, kind of the best scenario. Alright, so Wiccan, again, for people that don't know, you have to spend all your energy on previous turns to get the +2 energy. And so we've lost Wiccan's ability. Could be versing a similar deck, because I know since Zabu's been changed, a lot of people will probably be trying to get some type of value. In previous games with this deck, it is a little bit harder to, when you don't get the Zabu play early, you are kind of relying on getting some real big cards out. So at this point, typically I Gwempool, and then you're kind of just hoping that you're hitting Captain Marvel's big, because if she can get out and win you a lane somewhere else, or obviously Scarlet. Turning that off sucks for us, but they may have snapped and not had exactly what they needed. 4-9, nothing to laugh about. I think at this point we do play Zabu, and then we've got no other buff cards, so we play Scarlet now as well. And we've got 2 more turns, and now we've got 2 pretty big 4 costs at this point. So it brings all their 0 costs. So they could have been playing a Thor deck and didn't get Thor. We can move there if we want to. So we've got no more buff cards. And so we're not buffing up Scarlet any more than he already has been. So we can split. Because they got 3 cards here, I kind of do want to throw down Mojo. We can't play 4 costs here, so then obviously I'm just going to play our highest card here. With Scarlet, I don't think it really matters which lane he goes into. And then we can end it with Dr. Doom.
I am Iron Man.
So they've put a lot, that's 30. So Mojo being there doesn't really matter. And it's kind of like, is 10 enough to win there? So if we put 5, what's that? That'll go to 20. So we're going to lose that by like 6 points. We could Captain Marvel for 7, because we've got priority. Do we think they're going to be able to make 16? Probably not. Could they make 5? Probably. So I think Negasonic there. If they play a lot of cards, then hopefully Captain Marvel will come out. Snap on that one. I'm feeling really confident. They're probably, because they've put a lot into Limbo. And they're playing New York, which is a little annoying. I thought they might have left New York. Damn. Oh. Oh. Okay, I don't know why I forgot to breathe. Captain Marvel coming in clutch. In that moment, I completely forgot Captain Marvel could fly out. So yeah, that is... I'm rambling. On to the next one. Okay, not a bad starting hand. Wiccan we've already lost. That's all good though. So probably going against Smooth. First to fill could be pretty big. And we'll just play Psylocke. Hopefully we... Probably if we draw any 4 cost. Don't want to waste Shang-Chi now. Pretty much anything but Shang. Captain Marvel, awesome. We'll get her down early. Does have value. It would have been nice to get her buffed up, but getting her down early gets us, potentially could win us another lane. Human Torch is big. So yeah, he's going to snap on that. We do have Shang-Chi, so depending on how this goes, we can kill his Human Torch if it gets big. I just don't know if it's worth putting heaps of power, or on turn 4, I don't know if it's worth putting heaps of power into Raft. So I want to try and get some power down on this lane as well. There's Cloak. And then Craven. So next turn he's moving. So he's going to be moving there. Oh, he has priority. We could. So what's he going to have after this? Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom. Looking at my own Dr. Doom. He's going to have Doctor Strange. So if he moves 2 here, or if he moves Human Torch here and plays Vulture. Vulture's not going to move, so he's probably going to leave room for a Heimdall. So I reckon it might actually... I'm just going to do this. I don't know how this works if we both fill it at the same time, if we both get it. I think we do. There was also something else I was thinking about. It was that's annoying. So yeah, another thing I was thinking about was doing Zabu with Silver Surfer. What I didn't realize is that Silver Surfer, it doesn't matter if you change a base like from a 4 to a 3. Silver Surfer, from what I have looked into, he does go off the base. So if you go from a 5 to a 3, 4 to 3, 2 to 3, apparently he doesn't actually change, so Silver Surfer won't buff up. Because I was thinking, oh, Zabu, get a bunch of 4 cost to 3 and make like a 4 cost Silver Surfer deck, but apparently that isn't a thing you can do. It was pretty obvious what he was going to do with this one. We had obviously he wasn't going to play Wrath. We got Negasonic. I think that showcases the turn 5 Negasonic. And then yeah, we got lucky with Taskmaster, but we probably, oh no, we would have won that no matter what. So yep, on the next one. Awesome. Alright. Squirrels. Yeah, it doesn't really bother us. It is annoying that we're not getting the value out of Wiccan so far on this one. So potentially, I don't know, maybe Wiccan if you're interested in a Zabu deck. Maybe, let's say at this point, Rogue Wiccan, maybe the 2 you could probably drop. It's just, yeah, I didn't want to put too many 4 costs in because then you run into more of a chance of a copy. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we're definitely playing Gwen early. Gambit's gone awesome. But yeah, don't put in too many 4 costs because then you just run the risk of you're never gonna, like, never drawing Zabu because all you're getting is 4 costs. So we've got 2 4 costs in hand. It's turn 4 if we play Zabu now. Then turn 6 we could potentially play them. Scarlet you do need early, but then there's also a chance that we don't draw these 2 at all. So Zabu would have been a bit better early. I kind of want to see how we go with Captain Marvel. Get Captain Marvel out to another location, and we could potentially have 2 Captain Marvels flying around, which could be big. Obviously, Destroy does have a fair amount of low cost, high power cards. I kind of want to leave this open for Shang-Chi, in all honesty. Could do that. And then we could do that. See what happens. So I'm just thinking, they're obviously... He's 9 power, so obviously playing Shang-Chi here is the best option. They've also got priority, so if they do play, I reckon they can't play here. I reckon they've got a Hella. Leading 9 power. We snap, because if it goes into here, they play here, we win. They play here, as long as it's a 10 or more. I'm pretty confident. There's the Hella. Very weird Hella deck, to be honest. We win that and we win that. I guess I should have assumed it was a Hella deck, but that's a very weird, like, low cost Hella deck. Normally you would see like Infinite and like Giganto and all that sort of stuff. I honestly thought it was going to be like just a big 10 cost card, but I'll take the 4 cards. Glad I snapped. I will admit, looking at my deck stats with the untap, whatever it is, untap overlay thing, so far I think this deck and my agent Venom in the Zoo deck have been like my best performing decks at the moment, which I'm not complaining about. They're fun and they've definitely got me higher in ladder than I've been in previous. I reckon we Mojo here just because they'll just get things pulled here, higher chance of getting that value out. Pretty big, so I think they're doing it. So obviously going for like a Wolverine over a Deadpool play. I think they want things destroyed. So it's like, do we really... I think we leave Negasonic for now. We'll try and get some things buffed up. If he does go really big, we do have Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi has to be played 6 against something like Wolverine. So he's filling that one up. So it is... We are putting a lot of risk into this. It's not something I would recommend really doing.
Enough said, bub.
But obviously we've filled it up, so it's only his cards that are going to get pulled in here. So he could play something big. If he plays something big, he gets destroyed. At this point, just play what we can. This might be the game where I've just played it really stupid. Item and Zola.
Enough said, bub.
11. That's pretty big. So we draw that. 7. We win that. We draw. We only won by 1. Lost by a couple there. I'll probably leave that one in. First defeat with the deck on recording. Definitely could have played it. Probably played into Great Web a little bit too much. Wasn't really expecting the item and Zola. If we Captain Marveled into Great Web, there's probably a chance we won that. I think we were playing for the Mojo Great Web, which paid off, but yeah, we just needed something else. Alrighty, so I just had something come up, so I'm just going to kind of end the video at that point. Showcase a good chunk of wins, got some good snaps in there. Did end it on a loss, but transparency, you're going to lose games anyway. With this deck, Zabu, I think I got a couple games showing him off. Also got a couple games, I think, just showcasing the strength of locations and the strength of just being able to put down a lot of 4 costs. I think with moving forward, there's always going to be some better cards to put in there. I would say you could probably drop Dr. Doom for a 5 cost. You could probably get rid of Rogue for like Wong maybe, like putting in Wong instead of Rogue. Mojo, I think, does get a bit of value in this because if you get the Zabu down early, you can kind of fill lanes pretty easily. And I think Mojo does get that kind of value. Rogue, I don't think I got any games showing off Rogue in this deck. They were off camera, but she does come in handy, so it's kind of up to you if you want to have her as a tech card that may just sit in hand for majority of your games. Otherwise, yeah, Shuri or Wong or something, maybe even Absorbing Man. Captain Marvel, I think, does have a lot of value in this deck, especially if you can hit her with the Gwenpool. Wiccan is maybe another one that you may decide to potentially drop from a deck like this. Obviously, the playline, if it does go well, is obviously if you get Zabu down turn 1, Psylocke turn 2, and you get Wiccan down turn 3, you're getting a lot of energy after turn 3. being able to play a lot more 4 cost. I think if I had, just thinking, maybe if I had magic, I'd maybe replace Mojo with magic, and that just gives you kind of an extra turn to kind of get what you're wanting to get done, especially if you kind of want to go for a Wong style buff deck. Scarlet Spider, I think, comes in pretty clutch sometimes with the split, because you're able to easily lock down one location so you know where Scarlet's going to go. And if you can get him buffed again with Gwenpool, really big. Obviously, Wong synergizes with Gwenpool and Wiccan in this. You could even try something a bit crazy and put in Symbiote. Like I've had a game where with Symbiote and Negasonic. Negasonic kills, you then Symbiote Negasonic and you've got another free kill. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, a lot of experimenting needs to be done. My main takeaway from this is 4 costs are extremely strong. Being able to throw a Shang-Chi down is also really strong. And a little bit of tinkering, but yeah, don't overload the deck with 4 costs, because if you don't get the Zabu, then you may be stuck with only being able to play like, what, 1 card on 4, 1 card on 5, 1 card on 6, and depending on how your start goes, that may be all you kind of got to go with. So yeah, definitely don't overload it with 4 cost. Be mindful of that, and then I think you can just have fun, put in the 4 cost you want, and then build around that, and you can make a really fun deck. The Zabu change is really, I think, is what he needed. It's made him a lot better of a card. Obviously, they have to be in deck to get the -1 cost, but still, really strong, really good change. I'll put the win rate as it's changed, and see if there's been any big changes or anything like that. But otherwise, I'll leave the video here. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe, comment if you want to see anything else, and otherwise enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.